All right, guys. So here with us, close friend of the show. You guys already saw his interview with us, Tyler McCreary, the Rock Nation prospect. So he's gonna go ahead and break down the fight, give us his thoughts and his predictions. So what do you think of the fight, Tyler?
I think it's going to be an action-packed fight. I think it's going to be what the fans let us see. I'm kind of leaning like a 55-45 Cotto though.
Okay.
I mean, I've been a big fan of Cotto, but I'm also a huge fan of Canelo, and I like his style. He's a good boxer, big puncher, but I don't think that's nothing Cotto haven't seen. You know, Cotto fought warriors, and he's a vet. But I think it's gonna go like the distance.
Okay.
If I want to say if Cotto get the beginning of the fight, the first few rounds, then it'll kind of like discourage Canelo
Okay.
and make him like do things he haven't did like. And it all depends on what Cotto shows up to fight too. If Cotto like Canelo, Canelo that fought Floyd, I mean he looked fatigued. He didn't look that much in shape. He looked tired. But you know, styles make fights, so you can never go off of what another fighter did.
Right.
But I'm definitely leaning towards Cotto. Cotto got not just a puncher's chance, but a boxer's chance too. Cotto can actually box his ass off.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm definitely going with Cotto. Team Cotto.
I definitely hear that. Thanks a lot, Tyler. You got anything to say to the fans?
Yeah. Just want to tell everybody that's supporting me and that's been supporting me. I appreciate it. It's just motivation, and I'm always the same, humble God, no matter what's going on or how big I get. Just keep following and supporting me. And for the new people that started supporting me, I appreciate you guys too. And everybody else, follow me on Instagram, Tyler McCreary _, and Facebook and Twitter at Tyler McCreary.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Tyler. We're going to get you back on for an interview.
All right, man. Thanks, Sam. I appreciate it, man.
One more thing. Out to Rock Nation Sports, my coach Lamar Wright, Mike Leonardi, and Rick Torres.
Most definitely.
That's what's up, man.
All right, Tyler. Thanks.
All right, fellas. Y'all have a nice night.
You too.
You too, man.
Well, I look at this fight. This is one of my favorite fights of the year. I was looking forward to this more than the only other one that rivaled this was obviously the Triple G and Lemieux, David Lemieux.
Yeah.
That was I was hyped for that. I really I just knew somebody was going down somewhere. I knew David Lemieux had a great deal of power, so I was just kind of interested to see how Triple G was going to handle it. But other than that, this was the one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I look at this fight is like kind of I'm gonna pick Canelo, honestly, and Cole has been doing great lately. I mean, at the heavier weights, he seems like he did better. You know, at 160, albeit that he was fighting somebody who was, I guess as it seemed as if he was on his way out. You know what I mean, with Sergio Martinez, but I think he looked impressive enough, even in that, to warrant, being a live dog in this fight. Is a real good fight going on there with this with him and Canelo. But I still think Canelo is a bit too. I think he's underrated defensively. Canelo is. He's just a lot smarter and wise beyond his years as a fighter. He's really good defensively with his hands. And I say defensively because I look at defense. Both these guys have great offenses. But I look at the defense as being what separates them because with, obviously you're not gonna have to look too far to find these guys. These guys will be, they're gonna make a fight of it. So, you know what I mean? I think the better defensively. Well, and I mean, I'm not saying defensively to the point where they're not being offensive, because they're going to be, like I said, they're going to be offensive. But I think the ones who are better defensively and can fight off it better, counterpunch and things like that, take the openings, I think will be the victor of the fight. And I think Canelo's a bit better with that than people give him credit for. Plus, he's a bit younger, you know what I mean? And I just really haven't seen, besides Floyd Mayweather, really seen him had a bunch of, well, besides Floyd Mayweather and Erislandy Lara, really seen him have problems. And I don't see Cotto as that kind of a fighter. Cotto is he can box. Don't get me wrong, but I think Cotto wants to, exert his will as a powerful puncher, somewhat aggressive, but with a little bit of boxer puncher type thing.
Yeah.
But I just think he's gonna have a bit of a tough time with Canelo, especially like I said, Canelo being young, having that confidence and being motivated to be the best. Since now Floyd is gone, these guys want to step up and I want to be the next man. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Cotto doesn't have a shot, but I'm just saying it's going to be a hell of a uphill battle him fighting Canelo at this stage in his career.
Absolutely. So do you think it'll go to decision or are you thinking knockout?
Well, that depends. That depends on, to be honest, that depends on Cotto and how he goes about the fight. The fight could be closer if he uses that experience. I'm not saying that, Canelo only being, 23 years old or whatever. I think he's like 23, 24 years old, something
In that range, 23, 24,
has
yeah.
Somewhere near 50 fights? Yeah, so he has like somewhere near 50 fights, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And, these guys have been fighting all their lives. They turn pro at, 15 or some craziness like that down in Mexico. So I say experience with Cotto is because he's been at this top level for now so many years. He's fought everyone, you know what I mean? And he's beaten a lot of good fighters, a lot of great fighters. So, he does have a certain level of experience with that. Canelo being a little bit, young, he still has that, like I said, he still has a great deal of understanding of boxing savvy even for his age, being young, because like I say, he turned pro pretty fast, pretty early, and has a lot of years as a professional as well. And he's fought some good guys, with Austin Trout, like I said, Floyd Mayweather, and who's the probably the greatest fighter of our era, and Erislandy Lara, and that's just to name a few. Like I said, so he's been in there with some guys, but I just if Cotto can we use that ring the proper way. I'm not saying run or anything like that because he's just not that kind of fighter. Use his experience in spots and understanding how to to turn it up, turn it down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Keep the pace and and keep it in his comfort zone. He'll have a good shot at maybe making it a closer fight. But if he gets in there and tries to make it a fight too early, might have an early night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because I believe Canelo, like I said, he's crafty. Even though he's young, he's really crafty. And you see when he fought Kirkland, how he made some of the things he did in that fight. If watch Chocolatito, right? You see them little subtle moves they make. Because these guys fight at close range and they throw a lot of punches, people really miss the small, fine little moves that they make to open up these punches, you know what I mean, and these offensive opportunities. And I think with Canelo, people were really, really kind of overlooking that. I'm not saying that people aren't picking him, because obviously there's a lot of people. I feel like he's probably going to be the favorite in the fight, maybe. For a number of reasons, I'm pretty sure. But I think the part of it that they're missing is that he's a pretty decent boxer puncher. You know what I mean? He's not necessarily a brawler, and he's not necessarily a boxer, but he's like a cool, little bit in between. And he knows how to get those shots off at close range and defend shots as well. So I think he may have a little bit of an edge in that, and of course in age and things like that. But I think that's how he'll take it. But Cotto definitely has a great shot. I mean, I'm looking for. Like I said, there's so much in my head right now about this fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so much I could say, because I'm just looking forward to it so much. It would really be upsetting if I got stuck somewhere and I couldn't see it. But I definitely would be upset. But like I said, I'm looking forward to it. There is so much to really love about this fight. You know what I mean? And I just can't wait.
Most definitely. We're in the same boat. Eddie, thank you so much for your time. That was a great analysis. I'm with you. I'm on board with you. I'm picking my boy Canelo. I'm a fan of both, but one has to lose, right? So I'm looking forward. We're going to be hitting you up, Eddie. We're going to get an interview with you next week, and that's to all the fans. He's going to be on our show with a full-length interview with him. Any last words to your fans, Eddie?
Oh, man, just thanks for the continued support. Now being with Heyman, I'll have the opportunities to fight the big fights and get back into the top level of the game. I just want to shout out my guys like obviously my guys the Fury team. You know what I mean, with the upcoming fight with Vladimir Klitschko. Good luck there. I know he's going to shock a lot of people. Tyson is, and like I said, so obviously all my people I'm with now. I'm working with Coach Anthony. James Ali Bash. I got to shout him out. Just all my team. If I didn't get a chance to mention you, I'm sorry, but you all know who you are, anyways. To my fans again, thanks for the continued support. Our time is coming soon. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of just getting these opportunities, and when these guys, decide to look for a quote-unquote easy touch, maybe we'll get an opportunity to jump in real quick. You know what I'm saying? Just surprise a few people.
Most definitely. Eddie, thank you so much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, fight week is finally here, only a day away. Miguel Cotto, Saul Canelo Alvarez are going at it for almost the middleweight title. As you guys know, or as you guys should know, Miguel Cotto got stripped. He did not want to pay the sanctioning fees, even though he did, or it's to my understanding, Dennis, that he did pay the step aside money to Gennady Golovkin. Is that correct?
Yeah, I heard he paid $800K for that.
Yeah, see, I heard 800.
So he wasn't going to pay another $300K just for the tradition of the title. He was like, nah, I'm going to pass on that.
Right, so I heard 800 and 900, so it's somewhere in that realm. So he did pay that money, but then he didn't want to pay the extra 300,000, which is understandable but disappointing, because if he does win this fight, I still want him to have that middleweight strap, so then him and Golovkin have something to fight for. Nevertheless, it doesn't make the Cotto-Canelo fight any less enticing. It's still a great fight. The belt really doesn't mean much to myself in the grand scheme of things. With that being said, how do you think Cotto being stripped of the belt, especially 4 days before the fight? I mean, that threw me and you and a lot of other boxing fans off. What is your take on it? Because to me, it doesn't bother me that much, but I know other people felt very harshly about it. What did you think about it, Dennis?
All right. We talking boxing. But first, I got to start off and say, that boy Jay Cutler this week.
Hey.
He's gonna prove to everybody that he is a good quarterback. He's been dogging him. I'm sorry, I just had to say that. Any chance I get, I try to rep him.
Cuddy's been playing ball.
My city and my team, yeah. But yeah, like he was saying, I really think it was. I have two different thoughts about it. One, WBC said they agreed upon it. Him and his team agreed upon this is what they were going to do. They were going to pay Golovkin, and then he had to pay the $300K sanctioning fees of what it's tradition, is what's been done. So in my mind, I don't know exactly how it works, but it feels almost like it was like, look, we'll allow you to pay this guy this step aside money, but you're going to have to pay us the $300K fee with it too. And it seemed like maybe Cotto was good with that at the moment. But then once he realized it, he thought about it. He was like, well, I've already paid this guy. This fight is about to happen. Let's let the fight happen and see how it ends. And then, but they wanted the money. But so the WCC is like, look, man, we had an agreement. You can't just decide on, okay, this is what you're going to do. When we agreed upon this is what was going to happen. I mean, you're not going to, they are the sanctioning committee that the reason that you have that belt, you know what I mean? I mean, he did earn it, but they are the people who own that belt, you know what I mean? And the committee of us is like, look, if you're going to pay GGD, you darn sure going to pay us too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gave him his money, and we allowed you to do this. We said, fine, we'll give you this, but now you don't want to pay us, then fine, we're not going to let you keep this title. So even if you do win, you're not gonna have the title.
Yeah.
But I think it doesn't matter for Canelo, because I'm hearing if he wins, they will still allow him to become the champion.
Yeah.
If Cotto wins, he just won't be a champion anymore.
Yeah, that's correct.
Which won't matter for Cotto. Cotto's at the stage of his life. He's at that Floyd said, a belt don't make me.
Yeah.
When you get at a certain level, a belt don't make you. Nobody's not gonna back. If Cotto decides, say if Cotto wins, and he decides he won the fight, Golovkin, nobody's gonna say we don't want to see the fight because it's not for a title.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody's gonna care about that. But I understand that aspect of it. But what I was thinking is, And by no means am I saying that Cotto is trying to duck anybody, is avoiding anybody, because he has fought some of the best. He has, to my knowledge, he has never looked to curve anybody. It did take a while for this fight to get made, but he's never looked to curve anybody. He's wanted to fight whoever wanted to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a pretty smart move. If Cotto truly does not want to fight Golovkin, he doesn't have to now.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He really does. It's kind of a smart move by him and his team. Like, hey, how about we don't even pay the fee and we just get this fight? So even if we don't win, you're not obligated by any means to have to fight Golovkin.
Right.
Then that actually, it does something. I look at the psychology of it. What it does is it really puts the power in Cotto's seat, because it's like, well, how much do you want this big money fight, Golovkin? Because you can go fight anybody. They can just take you and another guy and say, hey, this is going to be the number one contender, and you're going to fight him for it, Golovkin. Or do you want the fight that matters? You can have the belt, or do you want this big money pay-per-view fight with me? So
right.
The power still would go to Cotto, you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because they couldn't, then the WBC couldn't then make him fight. You see what I'm saying? They couldn't make him fight Golovkin. He's not the title holder. They couldn't make him fight. It would be Cotto's own decision. If you want to fight me, how much do you want to? What are you willing to give me? Are you willing to come down to the size I want? He can then do what he wants because he's not the title holder. So this is a power move. I think that'll work out in the long run if Cotto wins.
Yeah, and see, and what I'm most, that's what I'm most, I don't want to use the word disappointed because that's too strong of a word in this case, but it's because now that, say Cotto wins, he's not going to have the title anymore. So now if he wants to make that Golovkin fight, they're not obligated to fight at middleweight. So Cotto can say, you know what, I'm a 154-pounder. You come down to 154 to fight me. And that's what I don't want to see. And I know it was the same case when a lot of people were saying, oh, you know, Golovkin to go down to 154 to fight Floyd. I don't want to see Golovkin at 154. He's a bona fide 160-pound fighter. He might not be the hugest of 160-pound fighters, but he is a middleweight. I don't want to see him move down. I mean, we don't know how it's going to affect him. You know what I mean? And we've seen Cotto fight Sergio Martinez at 159, even though I think he came in at 156, 157 for that fight. So I'd be fine at that fight at 159. But now, just like you said, Cotto has all of the power now because if he wins, he doesn't have the belt anymore. So now he dictates all of the terms. He doesn't have the WBC in his ear saying this has to be for the middleweight title. So he can take Golovkin all the way down to 154, which I don't want to see. So with that said, I'm also really disappointed in the fact that now Oscar is backtracking. Oscar De La Hoya, for those who don't know, I'm just using his first name. He's backtracking and saying that he wants the Canelo versus Golovkin fight to marinate a little more. Now, that didn't seem to be the intentions when the Golovkin-Lemieux fight and Canelo and Cotto fight got made. The way he built it up was that these two winners were going to fight. I mean, he was promoting on his Instagram the little bracket and, you know, showing all the things and trying to promote the winners and maybe even the losers fighting. And now he changed his tune, which really disappoints me because if Canelo does win this, he wins that belt. Obviously, he's going to have to pay the sanctioning fees, which Cotto declined to do. But that's a fight that needs to get made. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to get made right away. I would like to see Canelo fight at 160, maybe even against a David Lemieux or against an Andy Lee or something to get his feet wet at 160. But that fight has to get made next year. I mean, it's natural. It's a big money fight. Canelo brings in a lot of fans. Golovkin's going to bring in a decent amount of fans. I mean, the atmosphere would be crazy. And if they both have won their last couple fights, I mean, they're just two trains going down the same railroad track. You know what I mean? It has to get done. I mean, so what do you think about that? Do you think that, or just what I said? What are your reactions to what I said?
Well, I thought that was going to happen too, but what Oscar's trying to do is pretty much he's trying to Bob Arum the situation.
Yeah.
He's trying to in-house it because he was recently quoted saying, if Cotto wins, excuse me, I keep mixing. If Canelo wins, he's looking to make Canelo versus Lemieux.
Yeah.
So he's looking to in-house his fighters. He's going to take that belt and take both of his fighters and just keep it under one banner golden boy to have them fight each other. You know, it gives Lemieux, it's no loser because it's no losers there. Even though his cash cow is Canelo, but if Lemieux was to somehow beat Canelo, it's still his fighter.
Right. Exactly.
You see what I mean? He doesn't lose from that situation. So he's thinking business-wise. Even though us fans, we want to see the best fight that can be made. And the best fight that can be made is Canelo win is the fight Golovkin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want to see. But he's thinking, how can I finagle this situation to make it last longer? You know what I mean? To keep things in-house. You know, he's thinking far beyond just having them fight and maybe he lose. Then what for Canelo?
Right.
What did he do now if Canelo loses? Because I understand. If Canelo fights Golovkin and he loses, which is a good chance he will, even though I think Canelo gives the best chance probably to beat. If somebody's going to beat him that is below or even at a natural weight of 160, Canelo's going to be the best guy to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
So what happens if Canelo loses? Then what? Then he goes back down to 155 because he fights at 154.
Yeah.
Then he go back down to 155 and pick off the rest of those guys. Do we just say I'm going to move up to 160 and try to beat everybody else? And then what does it matter? Because the guy that beat us at 160 is GGG anyway. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what is next? So I understand what he's doing. He's saying, if I'm going to have this fight, I'm going to prolong it because this is all that's left after this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's left is to see Canelo versus Golovkin. So I'm going to try to take the longest route to Golovkin to get there. So it's disappointing, but I darn sure understand it.
See, and I'm in the same boat. I definitely understand it from a business aspect, but as a boxing fan, I've seen too many fights marinate too long. I mean, the most recent one that comes to mind is Gamboa versus Juanma Lopez. I mean, that fight at one point was supposed to be very, very big, and then they kept marinating, and they both wound up losing, and now no one's interested anymore. You know what I mean? And it's just, I've seen too many fights like that marinate, and it gives a chance for each fighter to lose. I don't want to see that. I want to see them both coming with the head of steam and fight each other. So, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. I understand that. I'm just very disappointed. But I think we can go right into it. I don't think there's much more to talk about preliminary to our predictions. So, Dennis, go ahead and kick us off. Who are you taking on this fight?
You would put it on me, right?
I did. I put you on the spot.
All right. Y'all know me. Y'all know what I'm going to do. We were talking about it before we came on. I always take the underdog. But in this fight, it's kind of almost no underdog. Each fighter has just as good a chance to beat the other one as the other one does. You can make 3 cases for Canelo. I can make 3 cases for Cotto. You know what I mean? So it's not like anybody here. I mean, if you're going to pick Canelo, you're going to pick him because you're going to say he's younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a younger, hungrier guy coming up. We don't know his limits. Cotto's already type of guy that's, you know, he's only willing to go to a certain limit. He's not willing to die in the ring. He doesn't have that mentality because he has a family. He doesn't have that mentality. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to win.
Mm-hmm.
We doesn't know that with Canelo. Canelo may have that attitude. Canelo may have that, this is my destiny. This is my future. I do whatever it takes to win. I don't care. So I understand that people may have that Canelo favorite. But I'm still going to go against it anyway. I'm still going to be me, and I'm still going to pick Cotto. And the reason why I'm going to pick Cotto is because one thing I learned in boxing, experience is king.
Yeah.
Experience seems to be king. You just have a fighter that they probably, and they right, and you know, in their own right, they probably could be the better fighter. But when the styles match up and the experience come to play in that deep waters, the guy that has been here time and time again seemed to know how to get it done. He seemed to know what it takes to win and dig deep in a big fight that you've never been. And this is what I'm gonna say, and this is why I'm picking Cotto for the experience. But when is the last time we've ever had to see Canelo dig deep from losing and come back and win? I've witnessed Cotto do that before. I've witnessed it. I've never witnessed Canelo that had to dig deep from being down and had to he had to come and face adversity and do what he had to do to get this win. I've never seen that. Although Canelo seems to be a bit more of a complete fighter since those Floyd Mayweather-Lara fights, fighting those slick guys that gave him some different looks and gave him some experience to his game. He seems to be a smoother all-around fighter. I agree with that. But I've never seen him face adversity and had to come back from it. And I had to think, with a guy like Cotto, unless Canelo comes in there and just start busting up Cotto's face because Cotto has that problem and makes Cotto think twice about coming forward and going to the body and hitting him with those vicious body shots, I really think this is going to go to the later rounds, and it's going to be, who wants this?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Who wants this? It's going to start off boxing. It's going to start off a chess boxing match because no guy's willing to come. I don't think either guy's going to willing to come there and just go to war. It's going to be, let's see who's smarter.
Mm-hmm.
Let's who prepare better. Let's who had a better corner, who had a better game plan. And then somebody's going to get hurt.
Yep.
And from there, all bets are going to be off. And they're going to start fighting. And it's going to build and build. And it's going to be, which one of us wants this more?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Cotto, even though he doesn't have that mentality, he's willing to die in the ring, he knows what it takes to get hurt, be busted up, be bleeding all over the place, and still get yourself back together, get your head squared away, and try to get this win. And for that reason, I'm going to pick Cotto. I'm going to pick experience over youth. Even though, look, I don't want this to look like, oh, well, if Cotto don't win, you pick. Look, anybody can win this fight. That's clear.
Yeah.
But I'm picking Cotto only for somebody got to win and somebody got to lose.
Yeah.
I mean? It's two men in the fight. Only one of them can win.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna pick. Nobody's picking Cotto, so I'm gonna be the guy to do that. I'm gonna pick Cotto. What are you thinking?
Well, firstly, all of your points are very, very valid. But you could very well be right. With that said, I'm picking Canelo Alvarez. Just like you said, experience is key, and Cotto has a lot more experience than Canelo. With that said, just like you said, Canelo has continued to evolve since he fought Floyd Mayweather. We're starting to see a sharper Canelo. We're starting to see a Canelo fight a lot more confident than he did since the Floyd Mayweather fight. And we're starting to see him look very, very sharp. But the biggest reason that I'm picking Canelo Alvarez is that we haven't seen Miguel Cotto take a really good shot from a power fighter since Manny Pacquiao, off the top of my head. And we've seen this time and time. Now, I don't want to say time and time again, but we've seen this a few times in Miguel Cotto's career. When he gets hit with something big and he feels he can't handle it, he tries to box and he moves too much. And he starts tipping on his toes and he wastes a lot of energy doing so. We saw it against Margarito. We saw it against Manny Pacquiao. Now, I think Canelo Alvarez has that same type of explosive power and he has that same type of precision. And I'm not making a direct comparison, but I think there are some good comparisons there. And I think, just like you said, I do think at least the first 4 rounds are going to be very, very feel-out rounds. They're going to see who came with what. But as soon as someone gets hit with something big, I think it's all going to go out the window and they're going to try to keep one-upping each other. And I think ultimately Canelo will get the better of him in exchanges. Just like you said, either fighter can win, man. Either fighter can win. I think the best conditioned fighter is going to win this fight because I can't see it ending early. Unless each other makes a huge mistake and the other one capitalizes, I just don't see it. I think they're going to both come out very tentative and respect each other's power. I think they both do things that make them great fighters that might even nullify each other at first. I mean, if you're talking hand speed, I think Canelo is a little bit faster of hand. I think Miguel Cotto is fleeter of foot. I think power is maybe even a push. But with Canelo being the naturally big... The better jab, I think that's the easier category to side with. I think Miguel Cotto has the better jab. I mean, Miguel Cotto, to me, is a top 5 jabber in the game. But the thing is when he's in with power punchers, he seems to abandon that. I mean, we've seen that.
What about body shots? Who has the better body shots?
That's tough. I think in terms of accuracy, Canelo might be a little bit better, but Cotto is a dog when it comes to those body shots. He's vicious, and it seems like Freddie Roach has got him back to doing that like he did in the beginning of his career. And I mean, we haven't seen Canelo fight someone that attacks the body all that well. And as we all know, Canelo Alvarez has had stamina issues in the past. So if Miguel Cotto can work his jab and get his way on the inside to start landing some left hooks on the inside, he might really tire Canelo out. But with that said, I mean, we all know Miguel Cotto is very hittable. I think the fighter here with the better defense is Canelo. I think he's a better counterpuncher than Miguel Cotto. So when Miguel Cotto decides to start pressing the action, I think he is going to get caught, and I think that might be the downfall. I think if it goes to the card, I would favor Canelo Alvarez slightly, but I think as the fight wears on, I'm going with Canelo TKO anywhere from 10 to 12. But just like you said, I know, but fairly bold prediction, but just like you said, once it hits that 9th, 10th round, I think it's going to be so close that it's going to be whoever wants it. It's really going to be whoever wants it. And in my mind, because Canelo is the bigger guy, because he's the younger guy, and because I think, or from what I've seen so far, I can assume that he's had a very, very good training camp. I think he's ready to swim in the deep waters. And with that said, I think he's going to catch Cotto with something really big, maybe mid-rounds, 5 or 6, and I think we're going to see Miguel Cotto try to box a little bit more rather than come forward. And I think that's going to be his downfall because he needs to push Canelo forward. I don't think that Cotto has the stamina, and he's never been very good at punching off of his back foot. I mean, he's accurate, but he doesn't hit as hard off his back foot. And I think that's when Canelo's going to start walking forward with ease and start catching him. I think Canelo will start to take over around round 8 or 9, and I think he'll ultimately knock him out around 10 or 11. But if it does go to the cards, I still favor Canelo Alvarez. But to me, it's a push fight. This is just me taking a 50-50 fight and trying to use some logic. I could be wrong. I'm not sitting here telling you that I will be 100% right because this fight on paper is very, very tough to call. But yeah, that's my prediction, man. It can go either way. If there is a knockout, I do think Canelo will knock Cotto out. I think it's much less likely that Miguel Cotto will knock out Canelo Alvarez. What do you think?
I haven't seen. Have you? I mean, you said, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Have you ever seen Canelo firmly hurt like he was ready to go?
Yeah, he was hurt against Miguel Cotto's little brother. I think that was like 2010. I mean, Canelo was like 18 or 19 years old at the time. He was very, very green. He got caught with a really big left hook. Yeah, see, and I mean, you can't take anything from that. That was so long ago. It's not nothing we can take from. But yeah, that was the only time that we've ever really seen him visibly hurt.
Yeah. I couldn't recall if I've ever seen him hurt looking like he's ready to go. You can get him out of here.
Yeah.
I don't recall that, but I would like to see it. I would like to see that look.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, just to your point, we haven't seen him really fight through adversity. So if Cotto does hurt Canelo, we know that Miguel Cotto is one of the better finishers in the game. So it would be brilliant to see how Canelo reacts to that and how much Cotto presses the action, given how much Canelo or how much power Canelo has. Because even if he's hurt, you have to still assume that he's dangerous. You don't want to come in, with your hands down. You don't want to come in going all out because if he catches you with the right shot, he can put you to sleep. So, I mean, that whole scenario would be very, very interesting to see.
All right, guys. This has been another segment of Outside the Square Circle. Thank you for tuning in yet again. We love you guys. The reason we do this, we're going to continue doing this. We're going to rock hard out the rest of this year, and into 2016, we're going to go even stronger. But I got to say that this is going to be one of the strongest and I think one of the best fights of this year. I'm hoping on it. Guys, tell us what you think about our predictions. Also, tell us your predictions. Let us know what you think. We want to know what you think. We're interested in that too. Like us, subscribe, share us, tell a friend, to tell a friend. And let's keep this going. We love you, everybody. God bless. It's been real.